Hi, I'm Flava D and I'm here with Music Radar. So when I first got into music and making grime, which was probably 2006, it was probably triggered by like Channel U. If you're like from them times, you'll know what I mean. It's like that TV channel when it was just all grime, purely just UK. And yeah, that was kind of when I first got my copy of Ableton, and self-taught. I didn't really know what I was doing, but that was the sound that was influencing me at the time. And then like garage as well. Like I had all the DJ compilation albums. So yeah, it was, my fusion was very much like grime, garage, and yeah, that's kind of like my beginning and learning on like trial and error and kind of where everything started. I didn't really know what anything was in terms of like compression, echo, reverb, and like I don't think I don't even know how to use a delay, for example. Like I would literally copy and paste my hats like to create a delay when I could have just put a delay plugin on there and just do it for me. And I was doing all this really OTT manual stuff that would just take me forever, and I wouldn't use like loops of shakers because I just didn't have the samples back then. It was very much like you couldn't go on a website and buy these massive catalogues of sample kits. It was just, you had like MSN and you have these odd groups where, so I was trying for hours to make my own shaker loop. And yeah, so it was like a lot of manual DIY, very time consuming, but at the same time it was a really cool learning experience, and I think you always take those skill sets with you. I think when I transitioned into garage from grime, I think that was quite my first step into really thinking about structures, mixing down, because I was starting to DJ 2011 and had my first gig, and I was playing some of my grime stuff out, and I was just thinking, this sounds awful compared to the tunes I'm playing before and after that are clearly mastered and mixed. And my structure, like I didn't have hi-hats in some of my intros, it wasn't DJ friendly. The bass just wasn't standing up, or like it wasn't like moving the venue. And yeah, that was kind of a big eye-opening point of like, okay, I need to like go home and really go back to the drawing board and think about not just being a bedroom producer, but how does my stuff sound in the big world. I mean, drum and bass is the most recent genre I got into sort of 4 or 5 years ago. So it went from grime to garage, then grime, garagey bassline, and then DnB. For me, it's been this constant journey of trying to get better, because the more I got into my career and playing more shows, you just constantly want to get your sound sounding better. And I felt like with each genre that I've gone into, it's like garage has to be better than grime. Now DnB is just, DnB for me is the ultimate learning curve. Like I think I'll never stop learning how to make something sound good and just trial and error, because I think it's one of the most advanced genres in terms of like sound design. I can think I'm amazing at garage until I try and make DnB, and just playing a DnB production, it's such a big sound, and people like serious nerds with mixing downs. Yeah, it's insane. When I first went into DnB, I was used to, in garage, having like a very big solid kick and snappy drums, but with DnB it was like having a small poppy kick and a massive sub. It was quite the opposite way around, so that was quite interesting, because a lot of my stuff at the beginning was quite low end heavy compared to other productions, and I was like, so it's like in DnB it's all about making the bass do the talking whilst the drums are just kind of like popping through in the mix. And probably took me a good year to like rewire my brain in that sense. And yeah, you just really have to go into each genre as a different kind of entity and take like, you know, your habits from how you do this and how you do that, and just make sure you're not like blurring the lines a bit, for me anyway. Definitely a bit of both. I think I've always been quite a diverse person. I'm a lover of music, all types, and being a producer, I've never liked to just put myself in one box, because I genuinely just love listening to different stuff, producing different stuff. So I think I was always gonna experiment in different sounds anyway, but also DJing. Like, I think my sets kind of reflect kind of how I am as a producer as well. I like to play a bit of a journey set and, you know, playing a bit of like garage, house, DnB, jungle. And yeah, it was just a way of tying up who Flava D is as an artist and having that show in my sets as well with my own productions. Well, my Bass Station 2, out of everything, is probably my most used. I don't use it enough as I would like to, just because of always travelling and just, I think I'm so used to making music on the go that it feels more comfortable for me. That's why I'm so quick with melodies and like using my mouse and penciling it in. Yeah, my main thing though was always my Bass Station 2, and yeah, I would just say that, if I'm honest. Or I do love the push, the Ableton push is really fun if you just want to have like a freestyle session and not overthink what you're doing. You just want to just vibe out and sort of manually just using your hands to do it all. That's really fun as well. And like looping, yeah, Mini Nova synthesizer is quite fun as well when you plug in the mic. And for me, it's more fun things, but not things I would use necessarily as an essential. It's just more like just for the sport of it sometimes. Yeah, so the album, it's a DnB album. It's quite like a versatile record. I feel like it kind of ticks a lot of the different boxes of what makes me me, in the sense that it's got like liquid on there, it's got a bit more harder stuff. It's got some really cool collaborations as well. It's kind of got like the sweet and sour elements of how I wanted it to be, and also a lot more vocal bass, which is not always something I've done. It's quite, I've got like some MCs on there, I've got some liquid, amazing singers, and yeah, it's quite a broad project, which I'm really happy with. I feel like it's something that I would listen to in the car or on the train, but also like in the dance, and it's quite an emotional project. For me, with my DnB, something that really helped, which I kind of spoke about in this, was the using my LFO tool to manually shape and like side change certain elements of things, so it doesn't make the mix sound muddy, it gives the tune more punch as well. Because I think for the last 10 years I was just doing a side chain with my kick and my bass, and it was just too ducky. And now that I've learned to do this like real precision technique, for me it's massively changed my productions, and yeah, it just sounds 10 times better. The convolution reverb is such a game changer for adding like sort of width and 3D elements to certain things like drum groups or like plucky elements. And you know, like there's so many cool AI stuff coming out as well. Like I was with Scream the other day and he was telling me about this, like an EQ. You can put it on like a piano or something, and it helps show you the frequencies that's clashing with another synth. And it's actually insane how much, like, you know, with AI I know it's a bit like, it's good in moderation, and there's some really cool stuff coming out which is just simply good for workflow and saves you hours of, or however long it takes you to manually analyse those frequencies, and then it just kind of tells you what you need to do to some extent. And yeah, it's experimenting, but yeah, quite good. I wish I knew more about what compression was. Like, I wish I thought more about just low end, and I was putting reverb on my sub basses back in the day, and I was thinking, what on earth? Horrible. But I mean, I guess I just about got away with it. But I think, you know, if I could remaster tunes of mine back in the day, they might have performed better, because that thing of like having that really great sound in a club is like, if I get sent a promo and the idea sounds great, but if it's sonically not hitting, that can stop me from playing that tune in my set. Do you know what I mean? And I know maybe that would have happened back in the day if I hadn't thought more about my mixing process and just the end result of that idea, and it just getting to as many more ears as possible.